flashy and satisfying combat, engaging traversal and exploration, and a plot about killing gods. Could this be your next game?
We're no longer below, Death God. You cannot presume to command me. And you're too diminished to make me.
Kumusta? Gamer After Shift here with another gameplay highlights and overview. In today's spotlight, Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, an action-adventure video game developed by A44 Games and published by Kepler Interactive, has just been released this July of 2024. The game received varied receptions ranging from mixed to average reviews in Metacritic.
We're here for Uri. Stand aside.
You weren't supposed to take my place. This is wrong. All wrong.
I see that she's the one keeping you here. Very well.
The world of Flintlock is set in Kian, specifically in a place called Dawn. Inside Dawn is the gateway to the Great Below, the realm of gods and the dead. The gods, jealous of the humans since they are trapped and are tasked to maintain the cycle of life and death forever. The door to the Great Below was suddenly opened 10 years ago, unleashing the dead. A group called the Coalition barricaded Dawn to ensure that the dead are kept within. In the present day, the leader of the Coalition decides to bomb the door to the Great Below to permanently collapse it. They are unaware that the gods are sealed within the area until Norvanik and her group destroys the shimmering wall, unknowingly removing the barrier that keeps the gods within Dawn. Following the massive explosion, Nor is saved by Enki, a fox-like creature who introduced himself as a lesser god. He proposed a deal to aid Nor in fixing her mistake.
You have a deal.
You bring a human to our fight.
She is my companion, Dukmar. Ramuhar died by her hand.
Playing Flintlock can be a mixed bag. If you dive into it without comparing it to other games in the genre, you might find it quite enjoyable. However, if you start stacking it up against your favorite games, you might be disappointed. Flintlock borrows a lot of mechanics from other titles, which can make it feel like it lacks its own identity. But you can also see this as Flintlock carving out a unique niche with its blend of different genres.
We could have been forever.
Questing in Flintlock is decent but can feel a bit underwhelming. The game's narrative design doesn't give players much room to really dive into the world building or get a deeper understanding of the lore. Side quests could have been a great way to explore more of the story, but they ended up feeling generic, with random problems from typical NPCs that don't really tie into the main narrative. Flintlock offers an amazing world with 3 main maps, each tied to a different part of the story. The game features diverse landscapes that blend seamlessly, creating a cohesive and immersive experience. The art in the game is great, with beautiful designs and stunning views that let players appreciate the environment. There are many small details, especially in areas with civilization, though these details are just for show and can't be interacted with. The enemy designs are unique and easy to recognize, which is helpful for figuring out how to deal with them. The graphics are good, but they can look much worse on lower settings, making the game more demanding on your device. Overall, the visuals are a big highlight of Flintlock and really help to draw players into its world. The game gives you 2 cool features for exploration: powder mobility and rift jumps. These abilities make getting around fun and exciting, offering more than just the usual walking and jumping. There's a lot of platforming in the game where you have to carefully navigate different paths. The platforms are often very high, so if you miss a jump, you can take fall damage, which can easily lead to death. Fast travel is available in the game through lodestones and coffee shops. They also serve as rest points for refilling your resources and refreshing the enemy spawns in the area. Coffee shops are unlocked by clearing hamlets. Hamlets that are occupied will have enemies and a designated leader that you have to defeat first. The coffee shops are important because they can increase your maximum health potion capacity. The hosts can also give you side quests and sell cosmetic items, adding more depth to your journey. Reputation points are like your experience points in the game, and you can use them to improve your combat skills and gear. You earn these points by completing quests and defeating enemies. The cool part is that you get to choose how to spend them, giving you control over your character's development. There's also a multiplier system for reputation points. Each action gives you a percentage boost, and these boosts stack up, making it easier to farm points. The points are temporarily stored with the multiplier until you either take damage or manually claim them. If you're defeated, all your points drop at the spot where you fell and you can go back to retrieve them. Besides the action multipliers, you can also get a boost by activating Ancestor's Shrines. These boosts stack up with your multipliers, making it easier to rack up points if you like grinding. Another way to earn reputation points is to beat certain NPCs in a game of Sebo, a puzzle game where the winner forms the triangle within a limited number of turns. Flintlock's combat is marketed to retain elements of Souls-like genre and infusing it with rapid mobility with the goal of a dynamic and explosive combat. There are 3 combat styles in the game: ranged, magic, and melee. The skill tree is designed in a triangular structure where unlocking one triangle also unlocks adjacent skills. This allows for a dynamic and interconnected progression system. Ranged combat relies on black powder charges, while magic uses Enki's charges. Yes, Enki will actually fight with you in this game. Meanwhile, melee is free of such restrictions. Ranged combat also offers enemy interruption, magic enables critical damage and armor reduction, while melee can prevent enemy actions with enough damage and attack strings and can also stun on certain weapons. Health starts out low but can be permanently increased by visiting Inaya shrines. The weapon system are fairly small but offers unique effects for offense. Gears, on the other hand, completely solidifies your combat style as they work as sets, with each set offering increased specific effects. Melee weapons, primary firearms, secondary firearms, helmets, and grenades can all be upgraded, but availability is tied to the story. Upgrades for melee weapons and firearms becomes available early on, with helmets unlocked in the second hamlet. Grenades and secondary firearms are accessible in the later stages of the game. Many build options based on equipment available, but the builds are very distinctive. As for skill builds, it offers the most versatility, but if you're willing to grind, you can pretty much unlock the entire skill tree for maximum effectiveness. Bosses offer memorable fight sequences, peaking at the final boss and its phases. It's probably best to use all your reputation points before boss fights, as there's a chance you drop them. There are no manual saves as the game operates on checkpoints, so be wary when engaging difficult enemies. Playing Flintlock was a time well spent for me, as I get to play mildly challenging combat encounters that seems to dance in between of hack and slash and slower paced action games. Combat is probably the most engaging feature of Flintlock, as it offers a satisfying flurry of fast attacks and explosive mobility that makes fighting exhilarating. I wish the story was given more attention, as I truly saw the potential in the world building. The chatters was fine, but it proved difficult to follow during combat. The voice acting is great, but the game featured minimal cutscenes and relied on exposition and character chatter to keep the player informed about the story. This can make the narrative disengaging and quite easy to miss. The exploration is one of the best parts of the game. I very much enjoyed the platforming and is probably the highlight of the game for me. Powder mobility and rift jumps are my personal favorite features. The world is also just really an eye candy, and I can't help but admire the environmental design complemented by its amazing graphics. The combat is fluid, fast, and satisfying. Critical hit animations are the best part of the combat for me, hence my inclination to the magic build. Overall, Flintlock is a good game if you want to focus on combat and exploration, as the story can be disengaging despite the great potential of the lore it carries. That's all folks, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more single-player games, don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel. I promise to keep improving in my content, and I hope you can become a part of that journey.